Parents in Milwaukee say city leaders aren't doing enough to protect their kids from lead. More than 11% of Milwaukee's children in 2016 had lead poisoning. The national average is around 3%. Wisconsin health officials are reviewing Milwaukee's lead prevention program after several reports highlighted deficiencies in keeping lead away from kids. Adriana Diaz is in Milwaukee and spoke with one concerned family. Adriana, good morning.
Good morning. Milwaukee's mayor says lead from paint is the city's primary concern because lead-based paint is in at least 100,000 homes here. But some residents in neighborhoods like this one are worried about lead from pipes, even though the water is treated to keep the lead out. One Milwaukee family is now dealing with the dangers of lead poisoning, and they're angry about what they call the city's slow response. Amina Al-Mujahid painstakingly prepares water for her family, filtering it pitcher by pitcher.
It's just an ongoing process of buying filters.
And you do it by hand?
Yes.
Every day?
Every day.
Last year, her youngest son, Shoaib, had a blood lead level of 11.4, more than double what's considered lead poisoning. Lead can affect IQ, and Amina and her husband, Nadir, believe it stunted their 5-year-old son's brain development.
In my assessment, he's operating more on a 3.5-year-old level. If I say, hey, what's your name? Or how old are you?
What does your son say?
He'll look at you. He'll look at you like he's trying to decipher, figure it out, but...
Milwaukee health officials say lead from paint poses the greatest risk to local families. But the Al-Mujahids believe it's in their water, after recently learning they have lead service lines which supply water to their home. The city says its water meets federal lead standards and is treated to prevent lead from leaching from pipes. Improperly treated water in Flint, Michigan caused widespread lead contamination there 3 years ago. Up to 10 million homes nationwide still have lead service lines, even though Congress banned lead plumbing supplies more than 30 years ago. About 74,000 are in Milwaukee, where the city has a program to split the cost of replacing lead pipes with homeowners. But so far, only 1% has been done.
Anytime they touch the water, it's alarming for me because I'm thinking about the exposure. Their lives are important to us. But it's difficult to see the city not care.
The family says they tried to get a free water filter under the city's lead program, but when they went, none were left. That fits in with a recent review of the city's lead prevention program ordered by the mayor, which found insufficient staffing, underfunding, and claims of mismanagement. The Childhood Lead Poisoning Prevention Program doesn't have records of investigating about 100 addresses where kids' blood lead levels reach 20 or higher. Health officials also don't know if 4,500 families received follow-up letters with children's lead test results. How did these kids slip through the cracks?
Well, a big part of this we don't know the answer to.
Milwaukee Mayor Tom Barrett.
I was told by my staff that we did not have the documentation that established with certainty that all the kids had received this letter. That was enough for me to say, well, then we're going to send out another reminder.
Well, the problem is devastating. I mean, we've got...
Wisconsin Congresswoman Gwen Moore wants the federal government to investigate and has raised concerns over the funding and effectiveness of Milwaukee's lead removal programs.
It's really important to have this independent audit done by the Centers for Disease Control.
Mayor Barrett is not against that idea.
I welcome the CDC. I welcome the Housing and Urban Development. I think that over a couple-year period, we didn't do what we needed to do. I want to get back to the basic blocking and tackling.
Amina says her family has had to pay the price for the city's dysfunction.
We're supposed to protect our children, but I can't do anything with people that don't want to meet us halfway. We had to do our own research and do what we can in our house and buy what we need to clean our water.
Shoaib's blood lead level is now down to a 5 from an 11.4, but doctors say there's no safe level of lead. The family is now looking for a specialist to help with developmental delays, but there are long wait lists. The city has offered to test the family's water, but so far, the city hasn't followed up. Anthony?
Adriana Diaz in Milwaukee. 11% of kids with lead poisoning in Milwaukee. That's just staggering.
That makes me furious.
Yeah.
It makes me furious. I mean, this should be like a 5-alarm fire going off right now.
And not for nothing, it's not happening in affluent communities.
Right.
And there was nothing comforting in that story for any family that's dealing with that problem right now.
Right.